and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's 17:15 Zulu on September 21st, 2021. And this is Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff. I'm Tim, K3LR, and along with me today is Jeff, KB8ZWT. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm good. How are you doing, Tim? Missed you the last couple, or you missed me the last couple weeks, right?
Yes. And I understand the phones have been real busy and you've been helping customers, and that's always a good thing.
Absolutely. The customers come first. Been very busy, been busy today.
Yeah. You know, it's that time of year, Jeff, and you can let me know what you're hearing, but I'm sure getting a lot more email now about, hands getting ready for wintertime up here in the Northern Hemisphere.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've had some callers today asking about connectors. Gentleman wants to go from a PL259 to an N connector to his antenna, and then wants to use a barrel connector coming into the house. And then I also got him some information on sealing everything up then for waterproofing.
Yeah. Well, you see, Jeff, the Geochron over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you see the Geochron is showing the sunrise and sunset as vertical lines.
Yes.
And you know what that means?
Winter's coming.
Winter's coming. That means tomorrow, is it today or tomorrow is the first day of autumn?
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow. All right. Well, the leaves are going to start falling very soon. You're going to be busy in the yard, but a lot of people are going to be thinking about, hey, I better get my antenna project done.
Yes.
And one of the things, I was helping a customer here over the last few weeks. He had, what would happen is when he would use his amplifier, everything seemed to work okay. And then when he turned the amplifier off, he would lose a lot of his receive capability. It was like there was an attenuator in series with it.
Okay.
And I believe he even may have sent the amplifier in for repair thinking it was the transmit receive relay. And come to find out it wasn't. And wait till you see what it was. Let's do a little screen sharing here, Jeff. And let's do a screen share. And now we're going to, and let me know when you see my slides.
Yep, there it is.
Okay. So if you look at this connector, you will see down at the bottom here some corrosion, probably caused by water intrusion.
Yeah.
And then take a look at, Jeff, how this center conductor is not soldered real well. See the gap?
Yeah, you can see the gap. Yeah.
That gap is a problem. And the solder itself isn't even shiny, which means this is a cold joint, right?
Yep.
Jeff, just hold on to the sides of your chair, because this next slide, look at this.
Ow. Wow.
Yeah. So what we've got here is we have a lot of water. I don't see, there's no solder here at all. Now, we can't see the two holes in the back, but we've got lots of corrosion going on here. I don't even see the shield at all.
No.
And the proper way to install these connectors is to solder through these holes, and to get that shield, it's got to be soldered. You just cannot push the shield in and hope for the best, because the connection will fail. But so there was a lot of trouble with this. As it turns out, the coax connectors were the root of his problem. And once he came to the DX Engineering store, he bought new connectors, put them on, and installed them correctly, and voila. It's just like what you said about your customer, wanting to do it the right way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just so very important. Now here is another method, and some people think this is great, some people think this is not so good, but I'll tell you what. You look at this connector. This is a DX Engineering PL259, and the back shield, the shield has been brought over the body of the connector. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that that shield is properly soldered. And by doing that, Jeff, you don't run the risk of melting the inner dielectric through those holes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've used this method for a lot of years, and I never had a connector fail, but you have to waterproof and weatherproof properly using the vapor wrap and using good high quality tape. But this is the tool that can actually strip for that. It's the 8213LR, and it will actually strip the cable properly so that the shield is the right length and the center conductor and the dielectric are the exact right length. But you have to, when you put the this together, Jeff, it's different than what you would normally do. You know, put the shell on and slide it back, and then put the body on and solder the center pin. In this case, you have to put the fully assembled PL259 onto the cable and then solder it over the back. Like I said, this method is not for everybody, but you know, and when in doubt, Jeff, it's just better maybe all the way around to have, you know, to buy the pre-made cables from us, right?
Yep, I don't do much soldering or anything like that. Everything I buy is our pre-made, fail-proof.
Yeah. I want to show you one other thing, Jeff, that I forgot that I had as part of the share here. Let's. All right, we're gonna. Do you see the slides again?
Not yet. There we go.
All right. So this is another area, Jeff, where hams struggle to connect their coax to their antennas. You know, I'm sure you've seen this, Jeff, where a ham will take and strip back maybe 6 inches or 9 inches the coax and take the center conductor out of the middle of the shield.
Yep.
And then try to waterproof it, and it never goes well because, you know, that shield gets wet and then it wicks, and then it, you know, it's bare copper, so it's all over. This is the feed point connector, the FPC from DX Engineering, and we have this in N, we have it in UHF, we have it in DIN. So I've got it in all the flavors. But look, you put a PL259 on the end of your coax, and then you simply plug it in, and then this is fully potted, fully weatherized, and then the wires can hook to the antenna, whether it's a Yagi, whether it's a loop antenna. But this really takes the guesswork out of doing it properly and making sure that you get a really good connection that will survive.
And it works very well. I have that on my butternut.
Right. We started doing that on the butternut, and our friend W3YQ is going down to do an antenna job here in the next week or so. And I said, well, what are you doing? He says, well, I took 2 Yagis down, and I got to put them back up. And I said, well, why were they down? And he said, well, it was the feed point, and the feed point got flaky. And so this time, using the FPCs, I think there's going to be some success. We got more to talk about with connectors, but I wanted to go to the chat, Jeff, and see. Oh, starting out with 9 Mike 6 Kilo Oscar Mike from Malaysia. That's a long way away, and it's still dark there. Let's see, and it's tomorrow. DL6 Radio Delta Echo. Charlie is on from Bavaria. And Alex is on, Whiskey 7 Hotel United. And Dawn, Whiskey Juliet 3 Uniform. And from Michigan, it's Rob, Kilo 8 India Bravo X-Ray. And Doug, November 7 Bravo Victor Tango. And John Stanford is KF6I. Of course, he helps us out with the amplifier repair.
Yep.
Have you ever recommended one of our customers to John?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and he had a great meeting with him yesterday. He says there are no seasons in California, but he was over very close to our Sparks warehouse over the weekend, and he was actually going to Canyon City to take an amplifier back to one of our customers, and he was going up the hill, and his car gave out.
Oh no.
So he checked in with us yesterday from the car repair place. And Don is on Whiskey Zero Whiskey November Delta / Alpha Echo. Congratulations, Don,
Yeah.
on getting the extra. That is tremendous. And Zulu 30 Alpha is on, and Kilo November 4 Kilo Oscar Papa is on as well. And from Tango Fox 3 Oscar Mike is on from Iceland, Reykjavik. And Steve said, NA5C said, in the telecom industry, we always use crimp connectors with the proper tools, of course. And of course, Steve, we've got best in class crimps. The thing is that what this customer said to me was that, he bought a bunch of PL259s at the Hamfest, didn't know the manufacturer, didn't know where they came from. And they just, those low dollar connectors, there's a reason why they're so cheap. And but crimp connectors really work well. I use those here in the shack, and you're absolutely right, Steve. That is a telecom staple because they're very reliable. But you invest hundreds and thousands of dollars in your station. Do not shortcut on connectors. The antenna system is really, really important, and cheap connectors will come back to bite you.
Yep.
See, we got our man Cat in the Hat, Joe, K3LR, and he said, I wrote about your coax crimp preparation toolkits for the November CQ issue, so we will look for that. Thank you, Joe, K3LR. And K3CWE, Chuck said, just stopped on Sunday and picked up RG58U with the DX Engineering prep tool. Isn't that something, Jeff?
On Sunday.
On Sunday afternoon, you can go in to either Sparks or you can go into Talmadge, and if you know what you need, boom, it comes right out. And then Don says, do you tin the PL259 where you're going to solder the braid? No, Don, I don't, and I'll tell you why. Those are silver-plated connectors. Boy, they just take solder like nobody's business. And so whether it's the DX Engineering connector or the Amphenol 831SP, that the silver back there sucks up solder, and it's a really good connection. And I think we taught AB7 Radio is on and asked what we think of crimp connectors. 2 thumbs up.
Yep.
Lots of good history with crimps. Radio 6 Delta Papa Queen from Russia. The problem is low power cold solder. Heat the spot. Gas powered solder is the best. So, but you can get it too hot to the point where that dielectric melts, and then you got a really bad problem. You got to cut it and start over. And Dan says Whiskey Oscar 4 Mike Oscar Mike makes a good case for crimp connectors, takes all the worry out of installing connectors. You're absolutely right, Dan. And we sell probably more crimp connectors now than we do solder-ons. And see, Don says, should I use the crimp solder and so far haven't had any problems. So he's very pleased with because you do solder the center pin, Jeff.
Right. Yep.
And Dino says coax connectors are an art and a science. Love teaching new hams how to solder and crimp. And that is a really important thing as part of being an Elmer.
Yeah.
Is to pass that on. And let's see, question on taking the braid back in soldering. How is the shield ground connected, maintained through the connector? Well, on the connector itself, that's all through the body. So it's all there. You don't have any worry. That shield is continuous. And David, Mike 0 Tango Delta Sierra said, bought pre-made coax links before, but were very badly made. So I just continued to make my own. Well, Dave, I don't think it was DX Engineering Connectors, because boy, you know, the DX Engineering team, when they put on connectors, you know it by the yellow label. That's the first thing. And high quality and high pot tested. I mean, you got the heat shrink on there, Jeff. Man, just beautiful. Let's see here. Steve, NA5C, he reports that the FPC, the feed point connector, works great on my 40-meter monobander. And Echo Alpha 5 Kilo Alpha is on from Spain. And Jeff, Steelman, N3JD is on. And Whiskey 6 Sierra Charlie from Silicon Valley. And let's see, K3CWE Chuck was just at Summit on Sunday. I was able to get myself a pre-made RG58U with DX Engineering PL259s. Kathy was very helpful getting me the cable I wanted, and she said, I don't get to see you that much. So she said I see Kathy occasionally. Well, that's great.
Yep.
And see, Alpha Charlie 2 Kilo, talk about crimp connectors compared to solder connectors, please. Well, there's been several features of the crimp connectors pointed out here by the people in the chat room, and that is, namely, you don't have to solder.
Right.
You don't have to heat up the iron, Jeff, and you can do it outside real easy. And they're really good as long as you use the right tools. It's critical that you have the right crimper for the shield. And with DXE 400 or I'm sorry, the 400 Max or the LMR 400, you have to use crimp connectors because you've got a foil shield and you also have the braid shield, and there's no way to solder to that foil. So if you look at the spec sheets on our website for the LMR 400 or for the DXE 400 Max, you've got to use crimp connectors. Oscar Zulu 1 Delta Whiskey X-Ray is on, and Paulo is on from Italy. India Kilo 2 Quebec Papa Radio, and Kilo Whiskey 9 Quebec is on. And here's one of our sales team guys, KDV, Dave. Great info as always, Tim and Jeff. Reminds me I have antenna work to do here at my station. And Dave, thanks so much for being on the team with Jeff and taking care of our customers. We've got Bob the Traveler, WD8 November, Victor November, and Mike, our friend up in Greenville, Kilo Echo 3 Juliet Papa. Let's see, Mike 0 Tango Delta Sierra says, no, not DXE, but from one of the very well-known radio shops here affiliated with you. We'll have to come to you for all my Foursquare requirements. Yes, we do know Foursquares, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got 6 Foursquares here, so I think we're
I think you got it figured out.
I think so. And John says, could the FPC be used for a DIY ground-mounted vertical? Absolutely. It would work just fine there, Jeff, just like it does on the butternut.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Terry from Rudolph, Ohio. Do you know where Rudolph is, Jeff?
I've heard of it, but I'm not for sure.
All
I think
right.
it's south of us. I think it's down towards Cincinnati, I think.
Okay. Yeah, in fact, W3YQ is working today down in Millersburg. You know where Millersburg is?
Boy, do I know where Millersburg is. We were camping there over the weekend.
Oh, good. Good. I guess he's working on the repeater antenna down there for the club.
Yeah.
So hopefully the repeater will do even better when he's done. But here's Terry, KE8 Charlie Victor Alpha. Look forward to making it up to the store. I need more coax for another tower I want to put up. Great. Al, Terry, be safe. You know, when you're doing the tower work, you got to be really safe. And from Norway in Oslo, Lima Bravo 1 Norway Hotel. And let's see, Ray, Whiskey 2 Radio Echo. I know how to do connectors. And yes, he's put on thousands of them. But when I'm building a station, I get all my cables pre-made by DX Engineering, including the LMR 600. The DXE team does a nice job. When in a bind, he does them himself, and he's really good at it. They've got a lot of stations up and down the East Coast, and actually they've got stations all over the world. They got a station down in Haiti. This is the Remote Ham Radio Network.
Yep.
And Ray and Lee are great guys. And let's see. Jerry says, is coaxial the best way to protect your connections at the antenna feed point? It's Whiskey Radio 5 Golf. Well, coaxial, I'm not a big fan of coaxial. What happens with that? It dries up. And so we have a sealing tape, a mastic tape that is very sticky, very tacky. And that's what I use. I put it right on the coax connector, and then 3 layers back and forth of Scotch 88 tape. And they say, oh, well, what if you have to take the connector apart? Well, the reason you would take the connector apart is if it fails.
Yep.
So the idea is, let's make sure that we put things in there so that it won't fail. And anytime you put tape on first, you run the risk of having air trapped. Yep. And if you have air trapped, that can mean condensation, and that can be bad stuff. And Sean is on Kilo Echo 8 Radio Mike Victor. Will DX Engineering be at the Cleveland Ham Fest this weekend? Sean, we will not be there as a dealer, but I do expect several DX Engineering employees will be at the Ham Fest. But we typically have only been traveling to a couple of the bigger shows, and but there should be some catalogs there, so please help yourself. Zulu 35 Fox is on, and Mark Kilo 2 Alpha X-ray says, I use crimp connectors on all my LMR series cables. Using the proper tools is mandatory. I use heat shrink sleeve to cover the connections with a mastic inside. You must also strain relieve all the connectors because they are not meant to bear weight. And that is a real important thing. Jeff, you have to strain relieve the connectors. We've had customers say, well, I put this antenna up and I said, did you strain relief it? No. And he had trouble. So you cannot put loads on those connectors. They're not meant for it. No. They're meant for RF. But well, Jeff, we went a little long, so I'm eating into your lunchtime.
Well, that's okay. Hey, we do have a deal of the week this week.
Yay! What do we got?
The Yaesu FT3DR is marked down to $399.95.
All right.
Regular $448.95. Great deal.
Yes, that's a good way to save some money.
Yep.
And just look under hot deals as well, and look out for the open box stuff. More and more open box products up there too. So, yep. And don't forget, use good quality connectors.
Yes,
you
please.
Can't go wrong with Amphenol connectors. Those Hamfest specials, you're going to have trouble. Here's the adapter to go between N and the PL259.
Yep.
This is a good, high quality Amphenol connector, and you can use barrels, but use good quality ones. This is an Amphenol barrel. And this Amphenol barrel has been here at K3LR for a while, but it still works good. And the old wives' tale of that you're going to lose 1, 2, 3 dB in each one of these barrels, that is fiction. So there you go. Well, I see I'm getting a text from W3YQ, so maybe he's on his way back and wondering what we're going to do for dinner. So, Jeff, thanks very much, and thanks to all of you for watching today. I'll be back on Thursday afternoon with the Manufacturer's Showcase, and then Friday afternoon, Joe Rudy will be on, NK7U, Mr. Baseball.
Yep.
Until Thursday, 73 from DX Engineering.
73.